Welcome to Inquiry. This video will be all about criteria, what they are, how to select or create them, and how to think about them when you're rating. Before we get going, let's discuss what criteria are. You use criteria every day whether you realize it or not. When you're driving, you are subconsciously thinking about the criteria of safety when doing anything from changing lanes to determining if your speed is appropriate for the conditions. When you're deciding what to wear in the morning, you're no doubt thinking ahead to your plans for the day and what attire would be appropriate. Criteria are how we naturally break down every decision. On this page, you'll be selecting the criteria that you believe are important to helping you make the decision being posed in the inquiry. So in the case of what is the best laptop for a web developer, personally, I would want a laptop that is light enough to make it comfortable to carry around. I would want something that performs very well. I like a comfortable keyboard since I'll be doing a lot of typing. I like a large screen so I can see a lot of code at once. And I get really tired of waiting for computers to start up, so I want a quick startup speed. To add these criteria, I can use the search to see if any of my criteria have already been added to inquiry. If so, I can add them straight from the search results. I'm going to search for screen size. Once I click this arrow, it'll add it to my list of selected criteria. I'm also going to search for performance, weight, and duration of startup, and add those. If I'm unclear on any of the criteria on the page, I can click the title to get more detail on that criteria. Notice here on duration of startup that less duration is favorable, so the arrow points to the left. Here on performance, the arrow is pointing to the right, saying that more performance is favorable. If nothing matches my search, I can use the Create New Criteria button to add one to the system. When creating a criteria, I just need to give it a name, a short description, a scale, and choose what I'm evaluating the criteria for. Notice these arrows next to minimize and maximize. This arrow is shown with the criteria when it is displayed to other participants for a quick visual cue to help them understand the criteria. Clicking through these buttons gives a visual representation of the evaluation. I believe that more keyboard comfort is favorable, so I'll choose this setup. Now that I've got a good list of criteria for evaluating laptops, I'll move forward to rate these criteria. Notice that on this page I'm presented with two lists of criteria. These are the criteria I selected, and these are the collective criteria that other participants felt were important to this inquiry. So now I have the ability to rate things that I hadn't thought of. Before I rate these criteria, I want to draw your attention to a few features on the page. With this drop-down, you can set how many criteria you see at once. This bar shows you the criteria you've rated out of the total criteria selected on this inquiry. This button allows you to submit your ratings without moving to the next step in the process. And if you click this arrow, your ratings are submitted and you are taken to the next step. When rating criteria, I'll be rating how important I think the criteria are to the decision being made. So in this inquiry, I believe that my criteria of weight, duration of startup, performance, screen size, and keyboard comfort are all important. And from the collective set, I think that durability is important. I'll submit those, and I'll notice there are a couple more I want to rate. I don't think that sticker capacity or brand recognition are very relevant to this inquiry. You can rate as much or as little as you feel necessary here. There is no level of participation that is required on the inquiry. In the next video, I'll cover options within the inquiry system.